Hello, my name is Miss Alissa Shirk, and I'm a licensed teacher, intuitive life coach, and host of the Dissolving Fear podcast. So if you are catching me on my podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube, welcome. Today's episode is all about the month of February, the month of love, and a little bit of life advice when it comes to navigating February. If February came out of nowhere and you still haven't done a vision board, tune in to my episode about how to make an I am vision board and put it to good use and actually use it on a regular basis. So check out that episode. I also had an interview last month in January with Kate King, and we talked about relationships and when to mend them and when to move on, whether it's romance or a toxic family. So you can check that out as well. I got out like way too many decks of cards perhaps for the February reading that we're about to do. But I'll just briefly review the card decks and we'll dive right in to your monthly messages. The first deck is Love Your Inner Goddess deck. I'll show you the cover. We will also be using this deck on Valentine's Day. I'll post a reading as well. So make sure and follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Okay. So when it comes to, this is for men and women, when it comes to loving yourself, I actually have two cards here. You are getting a lot of advice to break out of a mold and be your own self and live life on your own terms, okay? Blame it on the gypsy soul. If you have kind of like a wanderlust, you want to travel more, these cards are giving you permission to live life on your own terms. It says she waited a really long time to be saved until one day she decided to save herself, and it was a very good day. All right, so messages of independence this February. That's interesting. I feel like independence is going to bring you good fortune here with this good fortune card. And so it's not like I do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I don't really care about other people. It's just that maybe like feeling more independent is going to help you create abundance and take care of family and take care of yourself. I feel like God, whatever language you use, God, the universe, wants to hand you some beautiful, good fortune. And I actually have some spirit messages cards. And the first one was all about a child's love. So this could be like taking care of children in your life, noting in February that love is not just romantic love. Love comes from friends and family. And I like both of the rainbow cards that I pulled here from the Spirit Messages deck because both of these cards have like beautiful little rainbows in them. And I think that also reminds us of love in all forms, whether it's like LGBTQ or whatever. Love is beautiful. Sometimes it's really easy to get caught up in the things that you do not love and the things that you want to change about the world or politics. But you are really supposed to focus on love in this month of February. All right, so I have some cards also about new beginnings that came up. I was pulling some cards earlier, playing around, and I got two cards about new beginnings. Okay, the first new beginnings card is reminding us that everything is always moving. Life is on the move. Life is always changing. And so life is trying to nudge you in a new direction. The card literally says, everything's constantly changing and evolving. So are you. It's time to move in a new direction this month, February of 2026. The message is kind of simple, but it's very profound. It's time to seize opportunities. It's time to embrace new beginnings. And don't fall into the like sayings like, oh, I can't do it. It's not the right time. I'm too old. No, When life hands you this new beginning, you're going to say, thank you very much. So this is also a card about letting go of fear, because sometimes change is drastic, but sometimes it's time for drastic change. So don't be afraid. If you tend to use traditional tarot cards, all of these new beginning cards are kind of like the Fool in traditional tarot. This is like, take the first step toward a new journey, toward a new adventure, toward a new destination. This is a sign there are new ideas and adventures to ponder and to even say yes to. When you're doing new things, is it common to feel lost and confused? Absolutely. So that is normal. And knowing that that is normal, move forward and say yes to new adventures. And I feel like you might have already been pondering this new adventure like on your own. Like nobody planted this idea in your head, like, hey, why don't we go and try something new? I feel like you have been kind of on your own here, pondering this new adventure, or you're being encouraged to have some alone time. And maybe like dot your I's, cross your T's, apply for that passport, apply for that job, write that little book, put the brochure together. I don't know what it is, but I feel like some alone time is called for here. And it's so interesting that this is the February reading, because it doesn't have to do with relationships. It has to do with your plans, your dreams, and pondering changes in your alone time. I feel like you have choices to make, decisions to make, and what's going to help you get clear on those decisions is alone time. And if you have felt like the traditional Hanged Man tarot card, if you have felt kind of like things are just taking forever to happen, if you're like suspended, I feel like this is a good thing. Sometimes when things aren't happening quickly, it's because we're supposed to focus on our perspective and maybe shift our perspective and get into that new adventurous, open for new things, up for anything mindset, right? So if you have felt kind of like there's a waiting period, it's because you're supposed to have that solitude and that little timeout. Like life is giving you a timeout, and it's saying like, it's time for you to pause and think about your next choice and think about your next move and kind of get a fresh perspective, or just accept that when you do new things, it's going to be a little bit scary. It's going to be new, but it's going to be a breakthrough. What else did I have here? I have the Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. I wanted to pull from this deck. Whoop, card fell out. I wanted to pull from this deck because it kind of looks really nice and pink, like Valentine's Day. And we have two cards from this Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. We have Play, and I'll get to the next one in a minute. But the Play card is reminding us to have fun, celebrate, and don't take things too seriously. Like, say you do try something new and you like book a trip and it's not what you expected. Maybe it's not as fun as you expected. Like, have fun anyway. Don't be hard on yourself, because when you're trying new things, you don't exactly know how things are going to turn out, and that is fine. So like, be playful about it. It's your first time being human. It's your first time living life. So you're experimenting. Like, your life is one big experiment. And then as you branch out and go new places and try new things, then you're more likely to branch out even more the next time. And it's all in the name of fun. It's all in the name of like fun new adventures and doing cool stuff with the time that you have on Earth. I guess one example is like, I am a single mom. I've been a single mom for like 9 years. And I'd say 2 years ago, I took my kids to Carlsbad, California, and we went to Legoland, and we stayed in Carlsbad on the beach, right on the beach. And then this year, I'm going to Carlsbad, and then I'm also going up into like the wine country to a conference that I'm very excited about. And I don't think I would have booked this conference if I had never been to San Diego, but because I went out on a limb, I took my kids to Carlsbad on a random spring break trip. Because I already have experience going to Carlsbad, I'm like more likely to now book this conference and go solo, and it'll be great. So sometimes we just have to say yes to a little bit of fun and try new things so that we get acclimated to doing new adventurous things. So that just becomes our new normal. Now, I also feel like with all of these new adventures that life wants to send your way this month, you have to have some boundaries too. Because when you're becoming a new person, some people might not like that. They liked who you used to be. They liked the old you. And so if you try to like do new things, and go off on new adventures, or even if you try to do new things with your career or something, people might have opinions and they might try to tell you what to do. And so you might need to make little requests like, hey, on Sundays between 3 and 6, do not call me. I will be working. I'm focusing on a new project. Or whatever boundaries it is, right? Saying yes when you really mean no, not a good idea this month, okay? When a no hits you in your heart and you know that it's a no, that you can't do it, that you're overextending yourself, you need to say no. Don't say yes when you really mean no. Your energy is very important, and like winter time especially is like a beautiful time for you to have that alone time and solitude that I was talking about, and for you to like really tune into what your new adventures are going to look like. It's a good time to plan. It's a good time to daydream, and it's not a good time to exhaust yourself and say yes to all the stuff that you don't even need, okay? So ask yourself, where in my life do I need better boundaries? And then write it down. I want to have boundaries with so-and-so, or with maybe when you leave work. Maybe you need to stop staying late at work and have better boundaries and be able to just like leave a little bit earlier. Maybe you're going to have a new fitness adventure and you need to get out of work so that you can go to the swimming pool or the gym. Whatever it is, I feel like boundaries are important. And also, lastly, we're coming down the home stretch here. I love this Oracle of the Seven Energies deck. I tend to pull from this deck when I do private one-on-one readings and we're talking about relationships. There are a lot of cards in here that have hearts and just remind me of the beauty of relationships. Okay, so that one card that just came out was Great Big Love. And I interpret that as you are focusing on the great big things that your heart desires, like these great big adventures that you are dreaming up, and you are supposed to be focusing on those. You're supposed to be focusing on all of the huge things that bring you happiness and all of the things that you love. And when I say huge things, like you don't have to like dream big. It could be a simple thing. But sometimes our dreams feel huge and they feel like intimidating to us, and then we give up on them. You know what I mean? The last card out of this deck is Beautiful Uncaging. So this is like embracing relationships without having shame, without carrying excess baggage and shame. You know, like I would love a relationship, but I'm so OCD or I'm so ADHD or whatever. You know what I mean? Like we all have a reason why we don't think we deserve the best. So this is like uncaging your heart from the cage of shame or from the cage of unworthiness. It is a beautiful uncaging. So think about what kind of prison you might be in. Do you feel guilty about your past? Do you feel guilty about like that breakup or that divorce? It might have happened years ago. You might be feeling guilty from like a parent who shamed you. Maybe they're not even on the planet anymore. Maybe they've passed on. So this is being honest with yourself about how you're hard on yourself, and then having some self-compassion and making some amends, and just noticing like where is guilt and shame running the show. Because that is a very powerful emotion, guilt. And you don't want it to lead you down the path of self-sabotage, self-blame, or feeling low worth. Another beautiful message about this is having boundaries with yourself. Okay, so when you start feeling like you're a piece of crap, or you start beating yourself up about getting injured 6 months ago or making a mistake a year ago, you're going to catch yourself and you're going to have boundaries with yourself. And you're just going to think a slightly more supportive, positive thought. So we can't help the thoughts that pop into our head. You know, like if you start thinking, I'm a piece of crap, you can't help whatever thought pops into your head. It could be like a mantra that your parent used to tell you or something like this, right? An ex used to tell you. So you can't help what pops in your head, but you can decide the second thought that you want to bring in and tell yourself. And so make that second thought that you pick a supportive mantra. Pick a supportive story to tell yourself. Like, I am free. I'm free from that shame now. I'm free from that guilt. That is old news. That is so 2025, right? And now we're in February of 2026. So that's old news, all that guilt and shame. Let yourself break free of that prison. The last card I'm going to pull, oh, here it is. It is from the Raise Your Vibration Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. He is out of the UK. He's LGBTQ. He's adorable. So cute. So I'm going to pick 2 cards from this deck for our February reading. Oh, okay. There we go. So when it comes to advice for February, I do feel like these new adventures are going to bring you more prosperity. If you want to focus on your authentic purpose, if you want to start a side hustle, I feel like if you want to switch your career or go back to school, focusing on fulfilling purpose and fulfillment is going to make you money. It's going to bring you prosperity. Sure, other people are already doing whatever you want to do, but nobody does it quite like you. You're a divine facet of the universe. Nobody does it quite with your sparkle and with your enthusiasm and with your story and your testimony and your hard work and your thoughtfulness and your creativity. And so whatever your field is, whatever you want to work toward, put in the work, because it's going to bring you prosperity, which means it's probably going to have value and help out other people. And so you're valuable. You're a divine facet of the universe. Don't you forget it. Make sure to like, share, and follow, subscribe, because I'm going to be back here in 2 weeks with a short little Valentine's Day reading, mid-February. So I'll catch you then. And in the meantime, you can go to missalissa.com. You can scroll through over 90 episodes of the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can join the newsletter. So check out missalissa.com and follow for more.